Okay. Don't know how long the stream will be for. Depends if I get any viewers or anything like that. But this is Watchdogs Legion. Comparing it to Grand Theft Auto, that cyber crap that the fraudulent CDPR released, any of those sort of open city, open world games, you know, with cars, guns, that sort of shit. Why, in my opinion, it's the best one to come out in the last GTA's 7 years. The current generation 4 or 5 years. I'm not going to include PS5 or Xbox Series X. Because in my opinion, those two companies, Microsoft and Sony, made a dumbass maneuver by releasing that during the whole, you know, the virus thing. By excluding that, they're releasing games for it. They're favouring them because they can make the money. But let's compare. Well, first of all, let's rule out the fact that Cyberpunk is a game, because it's not. It's a fraudulent product. Those scumbags, those criminals at CDPR, which should all be in prison, even if they're just workers, they didn't report it to the police. They did not report any of the criminal actions to any police. So
nice and clean.
They're involved. But excluding that, the world graphically, it's better than GTA. Like textures, the lived-in look, open worldness, all sorts of stuff. It's leaps and bounds better than CDPR's heap of shit. Mainly because it's not false, it's actual. So when CDPR say, oh, it's open world, they don't mean open world. When they say it's a roleplay, they don't mean it's roleplay. They mean, oh, we're saying that so you'll buy it and then we won't deliver your product, and when you complain about it, we'll tell you to fuck off. That's what CDPR done. And then you got Rockstar, which have gone, well, we made a game 7 years ago, we released it online, and we're just going to milk it. Like, milk it till we can't milk it anymore. And in that respect, this Watchdogs Legion is like leaps and bounds better. It's fresh. The world feels lived in. It's got really cool mechanics in it. It has its issues, but every game does. Has bugs, but every game has bugs. If anyone says this game is perfect, they're telling half-truths. You can say it's exactly what you wanted, or it's as close to exactly what you wanted as you can get, and that is fine. But to say a game is perfect, it's not. There's no such thing as a perfect game. But conceptually, if you wanted to play Cyberpunk, you bought into the whole open world, create your character, choices matter, uncensored, role-playing, all that sort of crap that CDPR sold the game as, and it is not, then you will get it in Watch Dogs, except for the censorship bit. But Watch Dogs Legion, or Ubisoft, never advertised it as uncensored. They advertised it as just like basically Grand Theft Auto. Whereas Cyberpunk, CDPR advertised their game as it's going to be uncensored. To all the regions that have uncensored versions, they will get no censorship. But yet they censor the living shit out of it. And then when you call them out on that, saying, no, that's correct. The fact that we're censoring it is correct. That's uncensored. It's like, no, it's fucking not. Give me my product. Whereas this game, they've done none of that. What they advertised it as, it is that. So, like, the points of, you can play as anyone. Like, there's how many people in this area? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say 7 or 8 people in this area. I can literally scan any of these, and I can recruit any one of these people here. Um, so they delivered that. The voices do get a little repetitive. Like you could have, we'll say, 4 different females. Out of those 4 different females, there's a high possibility 2 of them will have the same voice. Or if you have 4 males, there's a high possibility that 2 of them will have the same voice. I believe they alter the pitch a little bit, so one might be a little higher pitched or lower pitched, but it's the same voice. But you can look past it because they don't jabber on all the time. It's not like some games where you'll be playing and your character's talking every 3 seconds. So there, it's delivered exactly what it was promised. The combat, in my opinion, it feels a little better than GTA. However, it feels similar to that Cyberpunk crap. So it's the combat feels smooth, challenging but not too hard. You know, a good middle field. Like you're not going to go running around going pinpointing every enemy. It'll be you've got to watch your shots, aim in, you know, all that sort of stuff. The usual skills needed to succeed. Detail in the world, like the textures, obviously because it's a newer game, it's better than GTA. Even with their up the graphics they've done from the PS3 and 360 to the PS4 and Xbox One, it's still a lot better than GTA's textures. Detail in the world, it's about the same as, we'll say about the same as GTA when it comes to like environmental stuff. Pedestrians and stuff like that, it's about the same as well as GTA. You'll see the pedestrians doing the thing and stuff like that. Unlike in CDPR where there's, in Cyberpunk where there's no pedestrians, there's no cars driving around. So it's like, no, another lie. This game delivers on that, but GTA is on par. Character models and rigging and stuff like that. This one, Watchdog Legion, is way better than GTA. The rigging on the characters in this are so much better than in GTA. They still have their little tiny issues, but they are so much better rigged in this than they are in GTA. Same with graphically, like if you get up close to the face, actually I can use the camera. We'll come into the light so you can see the character's face. This is Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs 1. But if I go into, for example, photo mode, and we'll come in nice and close. Oh, it won't let me go any closer than that. Okay. Okay, we'll try the actual camera, and then turn around and go front-facing camera. Turn around. As you can see, it's not hyper realistic, but it's quite good. It's on, in my opinion, on par with Cyberpunk's texture quality, detail quality, but up on Grand Theft Auto. So the character's skin looks more like skin, whereas in Grand Theft Auto they look a little bit more plastic. They obviously look more alive than GTA as well. The only gripe I've got is you can't create a character. It does have editing functions. In fact, I will show you the editing. Map. HQ. Fast travel. They added an editing function, which puts it on par with a Grand Theft Auto. Because Grand Theft Auto never had a creation suite. You could not create your character. When you first make your character, it was choose a mother, choose a father, adjust the slides. So do you look more like your mother or more like your father? Is your complexion more like your mother or more like your father? And then you could choose who's your father and who's your mother. And if you're lucky enough, you can get Red Dead Redemption, Jack Marston. or I think Nico Bellic was in there, and same with I can't think of the guy's name from Grand Theft Auto. I think it was 3 or Vice City. I can't remember, but you could get one of them as well. But it's literally you choose that, and you move the slider. Does it look more like that or more like that? There's no actual creation. This has a similar idea to that. There's no sliders that the character looks like, but you can add makeup, change the hair, and all that sort of stuff. Whereas Cyberpunk, yeah, sure, they give you the character creation at the beginning of the game, but when they're not showing that actual character you created in the game, because they're censoring it, and there is no way to edit your character once the game has started, then what's the point? Whereas with this game, obviously being third person, you're always going to see your character, so in that aspect it's better. But even if it was first person, it's like, if you're not seeing your actual character, what is the point? If you're wondering what I'm talking about there, with Cyberpunk, when you create a character, when you do anything in the game and you look down, that character you see is not your character. It is a censored version that they've plonked in its place. And if you want to test the theory, if you're in one of the regions that is supposed to, and by law they were meant to give you and they have not, and they're still getting away with it, got the uncensored version, in brackets, take all your gear off, in your inventory you're naked. The inventory character is your character. But then when you come out of your inventory and you look down, all of a sudden it's a replacement character that is censored. And I've been trying for months, and I've spoken to 3 different government agencies, because I can't sue them on my own, because I don't have the money, to get legal action taken against them, because they're frauds. Whereas this game, when you edit your character here, you will get the character you edited. They don't substitute it. So you can change your clothing and stuff like that. But if you come down, it used to end here at the hats, glasses, and earrings. Now you've got hairstyles, so you can literally change his hairstyle to whatever hairstyle you want. So you can give him a girly haircut, a masculine haircut. Additional haircuts can be bought in your home base. So for example, you come in and you go to that icon, the face with the cog. You got all your hairstyles. So you got all the dicky ones, the ones that look stupid, like dreadlocks, the mop on the head, that sort of stuff. So, Putter? Was it Putter? No. Panther, or one of those guys that does the things, he's got the mop on his head. That's his haircut there. So he could play this game and have that guy with that haircut, and he could play as himself basically. It's got so it's got all the stupid haircuts, and it's got some normal haircuts, afros, pigtails, ponytails, bangs, all your usual styles, college cuts, enough hairstyles to make people happy. Facial hair, good selection of facial hair. You can't go, beard plus moustache. It's all put together, so it's either the beard and the moustache, or just the beard, or just the moustache. But more than adequate. Prices are they are overpriced, but they're not GTA overpriced. They can get to GTA overpriced. Like you think about it, if you want to change your your beard in Grand Theft Auto, it's what, a couple of $1,000. It's not even $1,000 here, so that's why this is better than Grand Theft Auto in that respect. And the good thing is too, if I change my operative, keep holding, it's not holding, team. If I just go to that one there, swap to operative. So as you can see, I recruited a police officer. I can actually play as the police officer. I can run around in my police uniform. Certain units have certain benefits. So for example, like the police officer has the handcuffs, has the uniform. So this operative can actually enter police stations without setting off alarms. If I bring up my wheel, as you can see, she's got the handcuffs and the uniform, so she can arrest people. But the thing I was going to show you is if you're that way inclined, I was playing with it heaps when I first noticed it was there. You can literally come in here as a female and still put a beard on your female characters. So it's not restrictive. So if people are going, oh, but in Cyberpunk you can put a beard on your chick, or whatever, it's like, well, you can do that in Watchdogs. And at least Watchdogs is what you paid for, and Cyberpunk is not. And once you've chosen, for example, like her haircut, once you've chosen your haircut, as you can see, you can choose triangle to change your hair color, and those are again purchasable through, if you go to the store, go to there, when you're buying your hair, it has the triangle, and when you purchase it from in there, you can see the ones that you don't own cost money. So that one there, the pinkish red color, is $745 because it's blended. Whereas if you go to single tone ones, you see like $450 for pink. So, in my opinion, $450 for green hair dye is a little expensive. Let's face it, you can go to the local store, pay what, $15 to $25 for hair dye and do it yourself. But it's not Grand Theft Auto where it's $10,000 for a different color hair. The piercings are facial piercings, so not your normal earrings are in earrings, whereas piercings is like, as you can see there, brow earrings, nose rings, all that sort of stuff. Facial studs, which they have some like horn ones in here. No, further down I think. Oh yeah, there they are, down the bottom. So they do have horn ones. You can't see because she's got a hat on, but you can put horn, like you can see all bottom lips, or the spikes and stuff like that. I personally dislike it, but if that's your thing, you can do it. Your makeup, you can buy your makeup. In Grand Theft Auto, you pay what, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $2,500 for makeup. It's $250 on this. So pricing's reasonable. You got your two styles of hair, tattoos, head tattoos, body tattoos. So you can have one head and one body. You can't have two head tattoos, for example. You can't overlap, which is sucky, but limitations, I suppose. And then you got your fingernails. And again, you can put the nail polish on the males, just like you can put the beards under the females. There is no restrictions in that regard. Then you got your wardrobes. You can change all your clothes, dress up whoever you want to dress up as. So if you've got, for example, a police officer and you want to dress up as a civilian, because the uniforms are toggleable, you can turn them on or off. You can then tell her to take her uniform off and she'll be dressed as a civilian, and you can choose the style of that outfit. The uniforms cannot be edited. It's sucky. I would rather like have that and maybe like put a skirt on, a black skirt, or not have the hat on or something like that, or no vest or whatever. But you can't edit the uniforms, which is sucky, but it's whatever. You can't change the color of the outfits, which is sucky as well. Ubisoft, can you please implement this? Because perfect example is, I believe this one here's got it on, that skirt. I would love to have that skirt but in different colors. So Ubisoft, can we have a dye for, like you did with the hair, for the clothing pieces, please? Because I would love to have that skirt and just say a grey, or a blue, or a brown, or something like that, instead of just having the green one. Because that skirt I put on 90% of my operatives. At one point I even had some of my men running around in the skirt, because again, they don't restrict. If you want to put a skirt on your bloke, you can put a skirt on your bloke. See, she's got the same skirt on. That's Wrench from Watchdogs Legion 2. Watchdogs Legion 2. Watchdogs 2. I took his mask off. In this game there is an option so that you can have them never wear a mask. And because he's always got his mask on, you can say never wear it and he will never wear his mask and you see his face. So yeah, when it comes to character creation and stuff like that, again, Watchdogs Legion is like up there. If you could edit your character, for example, like you don't want it to be that skin color or that race or that gender or whatever, it would be cool if you could change it, but you can't, so that's fine. I just wish they'd add that functionality in there. Cars. The handling Grand Theft Auto is probably still slightly better if you're doing racing and stuff like that. Grand Theft Auto has the good balance between arcade and simulation. Whereas this game, it's a little more... The cars look a little more arcadey, but handle a little bit more simulation, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain how it feels. You've got to actually play it to understand what I'm talking about. But while you're driving at like a low speed, it feels fine. But when you start getting at high speed, you start doing like drifts and stuff like that, you notice that there's something a little off about it. But in saying that, both Grand Theft Auto and Cyberpunk, the pile of crap, you drive on the wrong side of the car, so it's left hand side. Whereas on this one, because it's set in the United Kingdom or London, you drive on the correct side of the car, so you're on the right hand side of the car. And it's so refreshing to have a game where you jump into a car and it's like, this is correct. Americans will find it weird because it's like driving on the wrong side of the car to them, but they get they get Grand Theft Auto and all these other games. It's like, for anyone who's in a normal country that drives on the right hand side of the road, this is so refreshing. It's like, right hand side of the car. This is so refreshing. It's like, yes, I get to drive on the right hand side of the car. Stick on the keep left unless overtaking type thing. It's like, yes, thank you. You don't have a first person, which kind of sucks. But Grand Theft Auto took second generation before they added first person. So you never know, with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X version of Watchdog Legion, they might add first person for all we know. Detailing on the cars are very, very good. Simple things like, if I pull out my gun, does she have a gun? Don't use the shotgun, taser's not going to do it. But things like, I did do it. Shooting the license plate off. Grand Theft Auto don't do that. Cyberpunk sure as hell don't do that. Cyberpunk's like, you slam into the hardest wall in the game and the car gets a slight scratch on the front. So the vehicle destruction, GTA has more destruction points in their car, but whether it feels right or not is another thing. Like, you could slam into a wall and your car would just crumble. Whereas in real life, a car wouldn't crumble in that way. Whereas in this game, it's in a way a little bit more realistic. Again, super high speeds, GTA is more realistic. At slower speeds, Watchdog Legion is more realistic. Another feature this has that other games don't have, including the Cyberpunk crap, is if I go up to my map, go map, and we'll choose a destination, we'll say up there somewhere, I can literally follow the line by me driving. Or I can just hit on the PlayStation X or cross, and the car will drive there. And while the car is driving, if you watch, it's so hard to see in this car. Oh, that one's easier to see it in. I'll steal that car. Okay, if I drive that, you'll see as it's coming up to an intersection where it's going to make a left turn or a right turn, it will indicate. You'll see as it comes up to here, there goes the indicator, see? So it's indicating that it's going to go left. Grand Theft Auto has it in the game, because you can see pedestrian cars doing it. They'll be sitting at a set of lights indicating. But then, when you're driving, when you're doing a vehicle delivery in Grand Theft Auto, they'll just turn in front of you without indicating. So it's fair to say that when you're playing that game, you go, "Where's the fucking indicator going?" That's a fair, because they have indicators and they do work, just like in this game. Cyberpunk, To be honest, I haven't played that in months because it is not the game I bought. I'm still waiting for them to deliver the game I bought. I'm pretty sure they have indicators that work in that game as well. They just never use it. So it's like, yeah, another thing they didn't. So when they say when they advertised it at CD Power, when they advertised the game as groundbreaking, yeah, it's groundbreakingly bad and incorrect, and that's about it. There's nothing groundbreaking about the game itself. Then you've got Grand Theft Auto, which is, if they would just release Grand Theft Auto 6 by redoing Grand Theft Auto 5 from the ground up, so new city, tweaking all the characters' rigging, tweaking the mechanics and stuff like that, and releasing it, that'd be fine, and it would still be better than Cyberpunk. The only way Cyberpunk is gonna CD Power are gonna fix Cyberpunk is by releasing what they promised, and what they promised was open world. They delivered, but uncensored is not there. Living world is not there. Interactive is not there, and meaningful decisions is not there. So the whole, when someone says to you, like, I use the example a lot. If a female says to you, does my bum look big in this, or whatever, and then it comes up with 3 decisions, A, B, or C. Yes, no, do I really have to answer that? It doesn't matter what you choose, you are still going to get the exact same outcome at the end of the day. Whereas in this game and in GTA, there is a chance if something like that happens and you have to make a decision, it could turn out bad for you or it could turn out good for you. Whereas in Cyberpunk, it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to all end up the same anyway. Yeah, so vehicle details, to be honest, Grand Theft Auto and this are pretty close to each other. Cyberpunk could have been great, but without me putting it on and showing you, there are so many problems with the vehicles that, like, I could stay here all day, or like hours stream, and point out every problem with all the vehicles. And that's just the vehicles. Then I can spend just as long pointing out the problems with the game mechanics. And I could also explain to the developers how they can fix them. Like, I'm no game developer, but I know enough about game development to know how to fix certain things. And, for example, this particular car here, when I turn the wheel, this is the biggest thing that stands out. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Grand Theft Auto screwed up sometimes. This game, I haven't seen it broken. In Cyberpunk, I see it broken all the time. When you turn your wheel, I'm not a huge mechanical guy. Like, when I say mechanical, I mean like car mechanics. Like, I don't go, oh wow, that car's a 4-cylinder, that's an 8-cylinder, that's a V6. That doesn't get my juices flowing. If it looks nice, it's a nice car. If it gets me from A to B, it's a good car. But some people will get their rocks off because it's a V8 and it's got the nice burble and stuff like that. That's great. And they will know that the brakes are attached to the wheels, or attached to the part that the wheels are attached to. So it's not part of the body. So when you turn the steering wheels, it doesn't stay straight. It's the bit that turns is where the brake is, because obviously the wheel's attached to where the brake is, and then that's attached to the car, which has the hinges. There is certain vehicles in Cyberpunk that when you turn the wheel, the disc brakes stay straight and they poke through the wheel at the back, or if you go that way, poke through the wheel at the front, because they're not turning with the wheel.
Stay alert.
And it's
There's
like,
a situation developing here.
Even a moron can see that that's wrong, and they've just, because we're going to give you a false product anyway, why even put the effort into fixing this stuff? It's like, and they've continued to do it. We're going on half a year plus since it's been released. And they've fixed nothing. They've reduced the amount of times it crashes and that's it. Watchdogs Legion came out and they had issues of it was crashing. They fixed it. It took them not even a month to fix it. And people are going to go, oh, but what, Cyberpunk is made by CDPR, which is a smaller team. It's like, hell no. The amount of people that are working on Watchdogs Legion in comparison to how many people are working on Cyberpunk, I reckon it's relatively even, to be honest. The difference is Ubisoft care enough about their product that if something is wrong or incorrect, they will fix it. Rockstar, not so much, but at least they've got QA or quality testing. Yeah, bring out the thing, test it, something's wrong, fix it. Yeah, things slip through the cracks, but at least they attempt. CDPR, QA, don't bother. That's broken? Why bother fixing that when the game's all correct anyway? And that's how they've been going for the last 6 months. And that is why I've actively told everyone who is considering buying a CDPR product, do not. Boycott them. Go and buy a Rockstar, Ubisoft, hell, even EA product instead. Because yeah, they put a buttload of microtransactions in there. Just ignore the transactions. You will get the product you bought. If you buy a CDPR product, or yeah, sure, there's no microtransactions, but also the product you bought isn't in there either. So yeah, so to be honest, if you're looking for a an open world or open city game, because let's face it, there's no such thing unless you go Minecraft or something like that. There's no such thing as an open world. People are going, oh, Grand Theft Auto's open world. Not really. You're on an island. If you try and fly away from the island, what happens? You get to a point it goes, nah, no good. So it's not open world, it's open city. Roleplay? You can roleplay in GTA. You can roleplay in Watchdog Legion. Like right now, I'm a police officer. I can literally go grab myself a police car or the military cars and drive around and do police work. And what helps with that is interactions. So for example, I'll hop out and we'll grab my handcuffs. My handcuffs are now equipped. So for example, if I'm role-playing and just say this... is there any gang members around here? Because I'd rather arrest a gang member instead of some poor innocent person. Those kind of comments too, when that two pedestrians there of, you get a thankless job, haven't you? That happens all the time when you're playing as a police officer. If you play as one of the gang members or whatever, you'll get completely different comments. It'll be like, piss off and stuff like that. Oh, here we go, this person will do. I can walk up to them and it'll give me a prompt, I can handcuff them. Or... what's this guy doing? See? So I can handcuff them, so they'll arrest you. But then you can also rescue them too, so... I do have an issue with the fact that this game uses a hold function to do anything. So if you want to, for example, like how I rescued him, I have to hold triangle. The same with when you go to a car. It's not just go up there and tap triangle to get in. You have to hold triangle to get in. So you gotta hold it until that little bar fills up. That's annoying. Like, just let me tap. If I was to rank games in the last 10 years in open city, the category in open cities, and I'm talking about anything. So you can have the Wildlands, and the newer one. Those are all included because they're technically the same thing. And me personally, Watchdog Legion is probably the best one. Grand Theft Auto, it's pretty high up there, but I wouldn't say it's the best. Cyberpunk, it's at the bottom. Like, it's that game had so much potential and they just shat all over it. They shat on their customers, they shat on their product, and they did it in a criminal way, and they continue to do so, and they are getting away with it because the enforcement agencies are doing nothing to enforce the law in the regards of the game and the product. And there's still people on Twitter and on the internet defending them. There's a couple of YouTubers I'm subscribed to, which I'm actually considering unsubscribing from them, because they're at this point still defending them. They're not going, oh, they're a good company, but they'll go, oh, they're doing it because of this. Oh, this is interesting. They're not calling them out on, well, this is criminal what they're doing. Actually criminal. Because the law states, and I'm pretty sure it's globally, when you purchase a product, any product, the product you receive is to be the correct and in working order. So for example, I've said it before, for example, if you order a fork and you receive a spoon, that is not the correct product. And you are legally allowed to say, no, give me the correct one, and they have to switch it over and give you the correct one. And that's happened with CDPR, and they're not. You're going, this is not the right product, and they're going, yeah, we know, but we don't care, and you're not getting your correct product. Piss off. And the enforcement agencies are not doing anything about it. And it's disgusting on both aspects. It's disgusting that the agencies that are in charge, the UKIK or whatever it's called, the Polish enforcement agency, customer rights, stuff like that, they were supposed to be policing and making sure that their updates are correct. And they're not doing jack shit. Their updates are not correcting the game in any way. Sony let it back on the store. Still, it's in the incorrect state, and they let it back on the store. Watchdogs Legion, on the other hand, Ubisoft. You're looking at, well, that's a greedy company. Yeah, they're a greedy company. Like, if you bring up... wrong one. If you bring up the store is the perfect example. You don't have to go to the store. You can play the entire game with never coming to the store. But you can come into here and we'll go like, view all. The prices here are ridiculous. Like, it's a joke. Like, where are we? Clothing. Good example. That one outfit is 1,000 coins. Right? And 1,000 coins, you'd have to spend 15 bucks in my region to buy that outfit. 15, I can buy a real shirt and some accessories for 15 bucks. So yeah, they're greedy, but at least they've delivered the product they promised. I would rather CDPR have released their game correct in its state and added microtransactions. I would have preferred that to over not delivering the product, blatantly ripping off every customer that bought the game, and they have admitted to, as I've stated in some of my previous videos, they have admitted to me in an email that they know the game is in the incorrect state. They do not intend on correcting it. So they have stated, yes, we're frauds. We did it on purpose. We do not intend on delivering you your product. Which by the law, pretty sure globally, it's against. Because I bought a product. I received the incorrect one. It's kinda in working order, but it's the incorrect one. Therefore, it is breaking the law, which makes them criminals. Why are they not being taken to court, fined, and prison time? Because the Polish government is slacking. The e-consumer group I've been in touch with are slacking. I've gotten in touch with them multiple times. They're investigating. in brackets. What's to investigate? They emailed me saying, yes, it is incorrect. We know it's incorrect. You're not getting the correct one. That is breaking the law. Take action against them. So yeah, I'm going to call the stream here. But yeah, Watchdogs Legion is by far the best game that's come out recently in the open city category. Again, can't say open world, because if I go open world category, Minecraft's the best. Because you can literally spawn into a world in Minecraft and you can go as far as you want in any direction. It's open. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about a city or an environment that you are placed into and you sandbox in it. And when it comes to that, Watch Dogs Legion is number one. Grand Theft Auto, I'm going to have to put Grand Theft Auto in number third spot, and Saints Row is in second spot. And then some of the other Ubisoft and stuff like that, their games, like the Wildlands and stuff like that, would be like 4th, 5th, 6th. Cyberpunk would be like, if there's 50 games on the list, it's number 50. Actually, no. If there's 50 games on the list, it's number 51. So yeah. If anyone goes, what do you mean Saints Row is better than Grand Theft Auto? Because Grand Theft Auto wasn't made for you to have fun with. It was made for them to make money with. Whereas Saints Row, you can boot it up and have fun. And the reason why Ubisoft, while Watch Dogs Legion beats Grand Theft Auto, is because anybody can vouch for me with this one. Jump into a random lobby on Grand Theft Auto. I done a stream not long ago, you can spend 15 minutes. You will have a person on an Oppressor Mark II or a jet come and grief you, or try to grief you. And then when you call them out on being a griefer, they will abuse you. And if you beat them, they will threaten to DDoS you. Watch Dogs Legion and Saints Row, you don't have that problem. Watch Dogs Legion is better than Saints Row in the aspect that Saints Row is only 2-player. Watch Dogs Legion, you can have 4 people in the lobby. And people are going, for only 4 people? Yeah, only 4 people. Which means there's not half a dozen to a dozen 6-year-olds threatening to DDoS you and trying to be a griefer. There is 3 other people in the lobby, and it's a PvE lobby, so the only way they can, in brackets, grief you is by trying to run you over. And with this game, there is like a bazillion ways you can avoid them. You can fast travel. You could call in a drone. You could any number of things. You could blow the car up they're in. They can't run you over. You do that in GTA. You blow the car up they're in. You pay $20,000 for defending yourself. Then you get wanted level. This game, for example, if that truck was trying to grief me, if I blew that truck up, I would get what, 1 or 2 stars, or in this case cautions, because this one doesn't use stars, it uses cautions, or yields, I think they call it in America, or in my country they call it giveaways. The little red triangles, upside down triangles. Same as GTA, it's 1 to 5. 5 being the hardest, 1 being the easiest. If someone comes at me, I blow their car up, I get a caution, pay no money, and I'll leave the area. In Grand Theft Auto, someone tries to grief you, you blow their car up, you get 2 stars at least, and you pay 20 grand for the car that they come at you in. If it's an oppressor, it's 10 grand. If it's an aircraft, it's a little bit less, but you still pay for it. And then you get the bad sport warning. That doesn't happen in this game. So that's why this is better than Grand Theft Auto. Saints Row, there's no for example, in Grand Theft Auto, if you blow your own car up, you pay for it. In Saints Row, there is none of that. You blow your own car up, you just call it back out again. So it's more of a fun sandbox, whereas Grand Theft Auto is more of a make you grind for money and take the money off you for doing just defending yourself. This game is a good even balance. No, you don't pay for your car for destroying it, but there's also not as much PvP. There's not as much, like you can't go steal cars and sell them. Well, you can't really do that in Grand Theft Auto either unless you do the missions. Missions in this game, in Watchdog Legion, are so much better than Grand Theft Auto's. There is so many ways you can do one mission. So for example, if I have to steal a car, for example, that black car right there, if I had to steal it, if it's in this, I could probably either sneak past the guys, I can send my little spider bot out to attack them, I could do any number of things to get that vehicle. But in Grand Theft Auto, they would make you shoot 6 million cops, and then you'd drive that car, and then you'd have helicopters chasing stuff. Like in this game, you don't do any of that. The cops are way harder in this game, but in Grand Theft Auto, they restrict you so much. In this game, it's so more open-ended. And in Cyberpunk, it's just non-existent. They say you can approach missions anyway. You're like, no, you can't. You've got to do a mission this way, with this shitty character that isn't your character. It's one that they've substituted for your actual character because they're censoring it. Yeah. Without getting into it, it's like, yeah, CDPR should go to prison. The entire place should be shut down. Ubisoft should be congratulated on keeping Watchdog Legion the way it is. And Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar, seriously. I put a video up before about the new missions. It's like, get your head out your ass and give us some freedom in the way we play the game. Because these new missions, I'm sorry, I have weaponized vehicles. I have an arsenal of weapons, and you're going to steal this truck, which is escorted by 2 Hummers and a helicopter. You have to use this crappy vehicle, and you can only use these weapons. It's like, no. I have to go to my airport hangar, grab my Akula, which is an off-the-radar stealth helicopter, fly up to them, blow up all 3 escort vehicles, swing around, land in front of the truck, pull out my heavy sniper, my bazooka, my grenade launcher, my minigun, whatever I feel like using, and kill the driver in the truck and then steal the truck. That is the way it should be played. And not this, use that crappy vehicle and here's an Uzi. It's like, no. Okay, I'm going to call it 48 minutes. I was only going to do it for half an hour, but 48 minutes, because whenever I get into the subject of CDPR, I cannot tell you how disgusted, and it has actually made me ill with how criminal they are, and to top it off, how little action the government agencies have taken against these criminals. I swear, if any other civilian, any of my viewers or myself made a game and pulled what CDPR pulled, we would be taken to court. We would be told to either deliver the correct product or pay a huge fine or spend time in prison. And yet none of this has happened to CDPR. Because I don't know what, they're licking the bum of some judge or something? I don't know. So Adam Kaczynski, who I call Mike Wazowski, that guy should be behind bars. And every person who works at that company that did nothing to report the criminal actions or fix the criminal actions should have a fine. And the company should be shut down. That is the action that should have been taken, instead of this crap that they're doing is no, we're not going to do nothing. I'm going to be trying again in the next couple of days to get in touch with the 2 agencies again. Because obviously they've been government agencies. If I don't push, they'll just probably put it aside. I've got to keep pushing, say, look, hello, they're breaking the law, please do something. So yeah, if you want to buy an open city game, by Watchdogs Legion. It's Grand Theft Auto, but better. It doesn't have the griefing situation that Grand Theft Auto has because it's a smaller lobby. The missions have more freedom. You can still run amok in the city. Like, there is plenty to do, and your arsenal of weapons and gadgets is really fun, and the combat is solid. So don't look at it and go, oh my god, the cars and all this, it's not as good as GTA. It's better than GTA. No, the cars aren't based on real life cars, so you're not going to find your, in brackets, Supra driving around. But they handle great. Or they handle good. Plenty of detail, plenty of fun, and if you've got a couple of friends, you can screw the city over. Like, there's so much crap you can do in the city, from just blowing stuff up to short-circuiting stuff to like climbing onto the bus and freaking hacking the bus and stuff like that. Can't do any of that in Grand Theft Auto. Saints Row, you can do some of that stuff, not so much the hacky stuff, but again, Saints Row, you can fly in Saints Row 4. It's like, why do you need a car if you can fly? Grand Theft Auto is like, yeah, the cars look like a real car, but then it's like, what do you do with that? It's like, street race? Oh, they're gonna lock you in a really narrow thing going, okay, you can street race, but only with these parameters. Or you can do missions, but only with our parameters. It's like, you can't go into any...
I can confirm there is imminent danger in the area.
There used to be a mission, I believe it's still in there, Rooftop Rumble, that you used to be able to do. You could take your own weapons. So, for example, if you want to go in there with your minigun, you can go in there with your minigun. But these new ones, you cannot. You go in there, you've got to use their crappy weapons. It's like, no. Give us our weapons and our vehicles to do the mission. It's our mission. So that's the issue with Grand Theft Auto. Saints Row, it's just not... Saints Row, Cyberpunk, it's just not Cyberpunk. It's not the game they promised. So do not buy, avoid it. Yes, if you haven't got Grand Theft Auto or Watchdogs Legion and you want to buy one, my recommendation, if you want to be social and meet people, Grand Theft Auto is a better option. But if you want to have more fun and a better experience, Watchdogs Legion is a better option. Watchdogs Legion is a better value for money, but it's not as social. Like, you can join public lobbies, but you're only going to meet 1 to 3 people in that lobby. You're not going to bump into a lobby of 30. That's not going to happen. It's maximum of 4. So if you're a social player, Watchdogs Legion isn't as sociable as Grand Theft Auto. But going social means there's going to be a lot of toxicity and griefers. So you've got to take that into account. And that's the reason why I say Watchdogs Legion is better than Grand Theft Auto, because it's less toxic, more open. Whereas Grand Theft Auto is more open, more social, but more toxic as well. So I'm going to call it. There's an hour, nearly. If anyone watches this after the fact, and you have a game that is city-based like this, like open city, and you think that it should be on the list of games to get, like you feel it's a really good game, by all means, post a comment in the comment section going, I played this game and it's really good. Same with if you played a game and you go, this game is crap. Watch some videos first before you buy it. Do that as well, because the amount of people that'll go like, what's the game like? And like, if people ask me, what's Watchdogs Legion like? I go, it's great. I love it. But some people don't find a PvE experience entertaining. They want to go grief, and in which case, Watchdogs Legion isn't. If they want to fly around on an Oppressor Mark II and blow people up for no reason, they can't do that in Watchdogs Legion. They can in Grand Theft Auto. And because I'm more of a mature gamer, if you watched any of my Dream streams, I made a comment that I'm technically a boomer. I prefer a more relaxed non-toxic environment to just chill and have fun in. I'm also a social player, so I play to be social. And I don't get the social part in Watchdog Legion as much as I do in Grand Theft Auto. But every time I go into Grand Theft Auto, I have a couple of videos up. It's just toxicity. It's like oozing with poison. Because there's some 12-year-old not getting his own way. The last stream I'd done, there was 2 guys in there that were God mode cheating. I called them out on it. Me and my friends were playing with them. You can't hear them, thankfully, in the stream, because he was using sentences like "go neck yourself," "drink bleach," that sort of stuff. He was saying that sort of stuff. He was that toxic, all because we said that his mate was cheating, which he was. He was in God mode, and we used game mechanics against him so that he couldn't have any fun. And if you're wondering what we were doing, we were using the orbital cannon to prevent him from doing anything. So every time he called a car out, or a weaponized vehicle out, or anything like that, anytime he got near it, or went for it, would just blow it up. He couldn't do a single thing. And he kept sending me messages. You can see his messages because he would not talk in game chat. Just his toxic mate would. He sent me messages like, hang on, we're cheating. It's like, hang on, you're in God mode, and we're using a legitimate game mechanic, and you're accusing us of being cheaters. You're in God mode. You have no right to call anyone a cheater. You're in God mode. And what we were doing is we had 2 people in their facilities, and because he was in God mode, every time they orbitalled him, the game goes, well, you missed. There's your money back, no cooldown period. So it'd be the first player would orbital him, then the second one would orbital him, then the first one would re-orbital him, and they'll just continue orbitaling like that. He couldn't do anything. And by the end of it, he was just standing there because he knew he couldn't do anything. And he was throwing me messages and why are we cheating with the orbital? And I kept explaining to him in game chat, you can watch my stream, you can hear me, but you cannot hear them. For some reason, the whole not allowing voice to be recorded, everyone had that turned on so that you can't hear them, but you could hear me. You could hear one of my friends mentioning about where he was and what he was doing and stuff like that, but that's it. But the guy that was in God mode, we found out later they were both in God mode. But we weren't focusing on the toxic one because we didn't know he was in God mode. We were focusing on when we knew he was in God mode. We were tormenting him. And he kept saying to us, like, why are you cheating for us? Like, hang on a second. You're in God mode. We're not cheating. We're doing a legit thing. And then when they finally left, because we ended up voting them out of the session because it got small enough, we voted the first guy out. And then sure enough, the toxic boyfriend left to follow. I ended up getting back in their session, so I done a restream. And I was asking people, like, why are you helping these cheaters out? And that's the stuff you deal with in Grand Theft Auto. You don't deal with that in Watchdog Legion. And that makes Watchdogs Legion better. Okay. Well, that's an hour stream. I'm going to call it. Everyone stay safe. And if there are any lawyers or law students and you want to chat about what we can do about CDPR, please get in contact with me. I do have a video out a while back where I actually posted what my Twitter is. Throw me a tweet. Let's chat. Like, I would love to play Cyberpunk, but I haven't gotten it. I bought it when it came out, and everybody who bought it still haven't received it. So surely some legal action could be taken to force them to deliver our product. So yeah. Same with if you're an actual legal representative, get in touch with me. Alright, gonna call it. Stay safe, look after each other, and stay out of trouble. I will be hopefully streaming again on Thursday with my dream stream. This one coming up, I might just do a chilled one and just go through some of the creations that are on there and show the stream what's out there. I might even put chat on, and like I'm doing here, and if people want to join and make suggestions on what to play and stuff like that, I'll do that. But We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm out of here. We'll catch you next time.